Explained by the Billy Meier contacts. Mysteries, myths, legends, conspiracy theories, historical inaccuracies, and more. Compiled by David Chance, revised October 18, 2023.
Superhuman strength. Contact Report 833.
Then I want to ask you something for once. And that is a question that has been brought to me, and I have answered according to how I understand this through my thinking, and think that this is actually logical. The question relates to the physical powers of the human being, whereby it happens again and again that in this respect, people speak of a human being having developed miracle powers when suddenly a situation arose in which so-called superpowers were developed in order to prevent a misfortune or to save a human being from death. In addition, I think that the human being actually normally uses only about 30 to 40% of his really possible physical strength, which he usually uses to physically carry out daily life or his work. When the going gets tough, he might need 40 to 50% of his real strength. On the other hand, I imagine that when something happens, especially when danger arises, personally or in the case of other human beings, that super strength, superhuman powers, and the like occur, in which the human being develops powers that are far beyond normal, and these are described as superhuman and as miraculous powers. I understand that in exceptional situations concerning danger, etc., the human being suddenly unconsciously develops and uses his real powers, which he normally does not need for daily use. Consequently, he also does not use them, but only then, and moreover unconsciously, when the danger or need, etc., requires it. So no miracles happen in this respect, but simply unconscious feats of violence out of the otherwise dormant reserves of strength, because the situation, or that is to say the emergency situation, requires it.
Effectively, this cannot be judged differently and explained exactly as you have correctly explained it. Effectively, there is no such thing in human beings that they are able to develop superhuman powers, for in every respect these are always limited to the potential that is most inherent in them and can be unconsciously brought to bear in case of danger and such necessity.
That is also the conclusion of my consideration, for no more can be used than is always also available. That is one rule which cannot be broken, which refers not only to the power of human beings, but also to their abilities, to their knowledge, and everything that exists at all.
Contact Report 834.
Yes, and my father meticulously recorded everything in writing in his annals.
That was just his way, and he was scrupulously accurate, as he also taught that way to me. But it was not easy to learn, and sometimes I really reached the limit mentally and strength-wise, and thought that I would not make it. But Svath taught me that it is also possible to persevere when it seems that the last of one's strength has been used up. But he taught me in this respect that the big reserve is always there and can be used, if only the will is mustered, and the reserve is actually used consciously and willingly. So I learned that even when this reserve is used, it is only partially used, and there is always a small reserve of the reserve that remains unused and therefore left over, which really leaves a small reserve that can be used. This taught me to never throw the pickaxe in the grain, as the earthling says, when something seems impossible to him. Svath, however, taught me to still do everything anyway, and to look for it to work out, and also when success seemed completely hopeless. And he was always right, because a solution was always found, and it went on and led to success.